So I'm sitting in front of my mom's house in Lithia, Florida, following the devastation of Hurricane Milton. I was in northern Arizona, and when I heard that Hurricane Milton was coming, I knew I had to take action and come back home. The reason for that is because my mom is 54 years old and she lives by herself. And she lives in a rural area with lots of trees and lots of potential harms to her home and to her, most importantly. So I decided to put a halt to my adventure of living in my car and hightail it back here to her house to make sure that she was okay and to help in any way that I could. Before I show the damage, I want to preface how lucky her and my family are. She's okay. Her home, which is behind me, is okay. Now, we're a lot luckier than some people. I mean, the victims of Hurricane Helene, they lost everything. My mom and our family was very, very, very lucky. That said, there are damages and there are heavy emotions surrounding those damages because the place has changed forever. I can't help but feel heaviness. It just feels like there's a heavy energy around not only this storm, but just like everything going on in the world right now. This amplifies the heaviness surrounding the state of things right now. So let me show you what happened. So here's what it looks like from afar. That power line was down, and I'll show that in just a second. There's my car, keep my license plate out of the frame. And her house is back there. So I'm not sure if you can see, but there is a power line that fell and it goes all the way over there. There are power lines on the ground here. This is her neighbor right across from her. His name is Dwayne. He's a 78-year-old man. Tragically, this tree has fallen on his home. This tree broke his fence, which is right there. It never used to be like that. There's where the fence is. Here's a fallen tree right next to Dwayne's house that blocks the driveway. There are people that live back there, but this is blocking their way to get into their home. There's trees just everywhere on the ground. Again, there's a tree breaking Dwayne's fence and falling on his, I don't know what that is, I think it's a shed. And here is my mom's house. All of these trees have fallen completely. I'll show it from a different angle in a second. But this place was an oasis of trees. I want to zoom out and show that this place had trees everywhere, from here, going across here. There was a big tree here, big tree over there, and all of them have fallen. And luckily, there is nothing on the house. The house took no damage, thankfully. Here's a different angle of that same tree with the power line that had fallen onto the ground over here. But, I mean, you can just see everything is gone, except for the only things that matter, which I just find to be pretty divine, honestly, that the fact that there's a home still standing, but everything surrounding that home is gone. And I just feel like that's a theme in my life right now, honestly. It just feels like I'm shedding so much old skin that the only thing that's left is my essential being. And we'll get into that either later in this video or another time, but it just feels like everything that I thought I knew to be true about life is vanishing. And I feel like this storm is kind of symbolic for that. But let's walk over here. Here's some damage to this big tree that was once here. It's fallen that way towards the driveway for those other neighbors to get back there. And then this is fallen this way, which kind of creates a cool little, I'll say it is kind of cool because I can climb up there if I want, which is fun. But it's interesting because this one's kind of falling at the same angle. And you know, it's going to cost a lot of money to get these removed or fixed up. I mean, and all of that damage as well. It's going to take a lot of money to clear this space out, but again, just super lucky that this has taken no damage. My mom lives on an acre of land in rural Florida, and this is pretty much the only downside of that. During the hurricanes, it's a dangerous place to be. You know, thankfully it's not next to any water, but this is what you get when you live in the sticks, and my mom does. The only thing that really took damage at her house was this shed here. And obviously you can see it took some damage, but she was planning on demolishing it anyways and turning it into, I don't know, something else. But you can see the roof there is kind of pretty much gone, and everything's falling apart from, I believe it was a tree, and I believe it was the wind that knocked it out. But if this is the only thing that's going to take a little bit of damage structurally, then she really lucked out. I mean, you can see over here there's just a lot of debris that's fallen. I mean, there's a tree over there that's on the ground and trees here, but you know, like I said, for the most part she survived. And she has an above ground pool over there, which you can see it took a little bit of damage. I mean, there used to be some type of covering in this little space here that went around and wrapped around the entire pool, but for the most part everything's okay. In life, you think something's gonna go a certain way and then it doesn't. And that was my journey of living in the car. And I still live in my car. I'm just here helping her out, clear all of this stuff out for a while. But you know, I thought I was gonna go out there and I thought certain things were gonna happen, and life just had different plans. And you know, it's hard to swallow that pride sometimes. And that's where I'm at right now, is like, I could have stayed out in northern Arizona. It would have been much easier and much more convenient to be away from this destruction. But what would that say about me? You know, that would say, in my opinion, it just felt selfish. It felt selfish to be away from the arena while my family is dealing with this. You know, the stuff that I was doing, that can wait. It can wait to get on all these podcasts, and it can wait to finish the book. You know, that stuff's not going anywhere. But my family needs me right now, and what kind of man would I be if I didn't come and help when help was needed? As heavy as it's been, there are real victims out there, and my family, thankfully, thank God, are not real victims. I mean, we have real problems, and these problems are gonna take time. Despite everything that's gone wrong, there's so much to be grateful for, and it's brought us back together. You know, I haven't seen my family in months. It just seems like that's where I'm at in my life right now. It just seems like everything is changing. What is a spiritual awakening without a metaphorical and a symbolic death and rebirth? So when things don't go your way, when things don't go how you expected it, that's when your spirit is truly tested. Who are you when things are difficult? And who are you when it's not about you anymore? Who are you? Who are you when the chips are down and the pressure's on? Do you step up because of your level of preparation, or do you fold under pressure because you haven't prepared for hard times? We have an opportunity right now to come together. It seems like things are falling apart on the surface right now. It seems like people's mental health down the drain. It seems like it's just harder to exist as a human being on a day-to-day. And then you have these storms, Hurricane Helene and Milton, that can easily drag the spirit down because there are real problems that are arising from this. You know, people are having to come out of pocket and pay tens of thousands of dollars for home repairs. And some people don't even have a home anymore. And those are very real problems. And as somebody who does thankfully have a home still, speaking on behalf of my family, it is our job to come to the aid of others who maybe have lost more than we've lost, and to give all that we can in the form of a helping hand or whatever it may be, whatever we can give. Right now, it's incredibly easy to push people away, but for the people that have the ability to serve, right now is the time to do so. And if you are watching this video and if you want to help in any way, please reach out to me and let's figure out a way to help these people, because they need help. And maybe this video is my form of helping, and I'm gonna help my mom clean up her place, and I'm available to those watching this that may be in the Tampa, Florida area that may need help. Right now is our time to do this and come together. It is not the time to push others away, and it is not the time to get selfish. Personally speaking, I'm going to do all that I can to help my family and the community at large, because right now we need love, we need each other, we need connection.
Thankfully, my son is here with me. We had a pretty nasty hurricane. I'm pretty sure he showed you around the yard. Did you show them? So it's been a week and we finally got power today. And these linemen, I would love to give a big shout out to, because these guys were from Indiana and left their families and their homes to come do this.
What would you say to everyone else who had it worse than us?
For anyone that lost their home, I am so sorry.
What would you say to the community at large?
That they're absolutely fabulous, and we're a bunch of tough people out here, and no one complained. Everyone worked together. We have a home. I can't believe it. By the grace of God.